My friends, if you have been watching any videos with any tier list or talking about any characters for Persona 5X, then you know about the Book of Revelations and how God sends back his only daughter, Chord, to save us all with her lyrical pose and her guitar, because she is the absolute meta. There is none greater. Or at least so every content creator has probably told you, probably even including myself. And so the thing I think we have done a disservice of is really kind of demonstrating why we have all said she's OP, or is she OP, and why do you need 37 duplicates minus a half and 18 weapons? And so I want to break it down. It's not a full guide for Chord, but it is definitely going to go over some finer points. And I just want you to understand, when you start spending your gems and you are stressing about, do I have enough for Chord? Do I have enough for her weapon? Should I give the R2 second weapon, A1 Chord? Like all these questions that you're asking, I feel like I want to have you informed better on how to answer those potentially for yourself, because I don't want you to regret a pull, or maybe going double pity on a banner, or getting the unit and not the weapon, and just having misinformation. So I'm on my KR accounts and I want to show you Chord. I want to show you what she does. I'm going to give you a little bit of an example with the team you could basically run now once you get her. And so let's pull her up. And of course, the translations on her kits are going to be spot on. You don't have to worry about any mistranslations whatsoever. So here she is. And Chord, in a nutshell, if you know nothing about her, she is a support unit who basically buffs your attack, and she will allow you to do more frequent highlights. It'll be better highlights. They'll do more damage. And she gets to act kind of off turn with her skill 3 to launch highlights without it consuming your highlight cooldown. So let's pull up. I'm going to actually have to pull up on the side over here some translations for myself. Let's pull up her kit and let's just kind of go through it. So her A0, when entering battle, there's a cooldown. Oh my God, these translations. Let me restate this. When entering battle, her skill 3 has 1 less cooldown, so it's going to come up faster. It permanently increases Chord's attack when it's used, up to 2 stacks. And after using skill 3, it goes up by a turn on its cooldown. It basically said you get to use your skill 3 earlier in the battle the first time, and then it's a normal cooldown afterwards. When you use it, she gets an attack power increase. So this is all built around this skill 3 here. The skill 3 is kind of her most important skill, not to discount skill 2. And this is what allows her to give an ally the ability to cast their highlight whenever. So when this power is up, you can choose one of your other allies and immediately launch their highlights, and the highlight has increased damage. So we all know that a lot of highlights are super powerful. Like think about Makoto's, for example. And so when you launch it, not only do you get to do it off turn, you also get to do it with a stronger amount of power. Now, if you're using the Persona 3 cast later, just know that you can't do that for them. It just increases their theurgy. And so that's an important point that we'll talk about in a little bit. The other thing that you're going to notice is on her highlight itself, it's not a damaging highlight. It is meant to strengthen highlights and get them up faster. So the way this would read is all allies gain a 45.5% damage bonus. So you're buffing the damage for your party. And for 4 actions after an ally acts, they recover 10% highlight energy. I'm sorry, it's not translating for whatever reason, up to 40%. So this is meant to get your highlights going faster, recovering them quicker, while still providing you a nice little damage boost here. And then finally, with her skill 2, this is a buff that you can put on only one ally. So it's called Enthusiastic Audience, or probably called something else in global. And basically it gives them an attack buff. That's what all of this is saying. And when this is active, when she launches her attack, granted she's not damage dealer, she gets a secondary attack. So, imagine you put improvised solo, I don't know, on Makoto. Then perhaps your Chord uses her skill 1. It's going to hit twice, is the way to read that. So overall, she's increasing attack, she's increasing damage, she's decreasing highlights. And actually, when you launch a highlight, you'll even do a little bit of a heal. It's not going to replace a full healer, but it can save you in a pinch. So she really is going to be buffing your highlights and making them go up more often. This is why people talk about how cool she is. Again, I'm not going to go through every single bit of her kit here. That's for a guide later. And then the other thing is her awarenesses are all good. Every single one of these is good. This one basically starts with skill 2 already cast on your highest attacking damage dealer, and it gives an increased crit rate of 25%. Then she has, when her skill is used, her skill 3, the damage of the colleague, these translations, the damage of the person you put it on is increased by 30%, so their highlight hits that much more. Her highlight buff at A5 is just increasing how much is being recovered, as well as extending it to 6 turns. And then her skill 6 starts off with you being able to cast skill 3, and also giving extra, damage boost. And so if you're one of the people that is wailing out to get her to A6, just know that every one of your awarenesses is good. We'll come back to awarenesses in just a little bit though. So what I want to do for you is, that's all great. Those were words. I said quite a few of them, but I haven't actually shown you anything. So I'm going to go through 2 scenarios. They're going to be the same, but with Chord and without Chord. So I'm going to go to my favorite punching bag as always. Yes, I've already done this, whatever. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick this, but I'm going to put Vino in. Now, Vino is not like a direct replacement to her. You'd probably do something like Leo, but what I want to showcase here is how many highlights come up and how often they come up. So this will be a pretty standard, situation here. I'm not going to go super heavy on DPS because I need them to last a little bit so you can see a few turns here. And so like some people are going to be like not buffing when they would, and I'm going to try to be as consistent as possible when I pick the Chord team. So this is not like a guide of how you should do this fight whatsoever. This is just showing you when it comes up. So you can see like I haven't charged a highlight yet. I'm going to go into, some just basic moves here. This damage is not a damage showcase either, because like I said, this is just for me to demonstrate when the highlights come up. I'm intentionally not going to use my supporter or any of that stuff. All right, so here's my first highlight. So I'm going to use it on Queen, and I'm in turn 6. So keep that in the back of your minds here. At this point, I'm just going to throw heals on. I don't want to kill too fast. I could, unfortunately, very easily just demolish this fight, and so I'm actually having to slow myself down. Ouch. That actually hurt. Good thing I have a good healer. And again, we're just going to keep up with the low-level kind of damage that we want to do here. Alright, so now we're, turn 7 still? Yeah, because we're doing some follow-ups here. We'll just back out of this one. And I'm not going to switch into her mask mode, just to extend the fight a little bit. Alright, let's get ourselves a heal. So this is pretty average right now, right? Like, this is probably what you're fairly accustomed to. Now, you can speed up the highlights slightly at the start of battle by using a specific card set, which is one that you're probably going to put on Chord, to be honest, which just feeds into her kit all the more. Okay, so here we are, second highlight. So let's use Vino. And this was turn 13. So we've had one Makoto highlight, one Vino highlight, turns 6 and 13. And at this point, I won't even be able to get through to another highlight because I'll kill him before then. So we had 2 highlights in this amount of time. Let's back out and let's switch out for Chord. So this is with her 5-star weapon, which I guess I can talk about here in a second. And this is what I would recommend to most people, a basic Chord A0 with a weapon as your minimum pull. So now I'm going to do the same kind of stuff I would normally do. I'm going to use the buff. So now she's getting stronger. Again, I could have brought Leo to make her buff, her attack. So it's not meant to be who's the best, healer. Oh, apparently I've had my client on for 2 hours. That's interesting. Let's see. We did this last time. And then we swap to Yanosek. Okay, now we're in turn 4 as our first one. Last time it was turn 6. And I'm going to pop Chord's highlight, which looks amazing. Gives me Guitar Hero vibes. No crit. Good job. Alright, so we've had 1 highlight so far. Now we're on action 6. She's going to launch another highlight, and it's going to be from Makoto. And so now you're going to see Makoto's getting a free and stronger highlight right here. Alright, I think last time I healed at this point. Alright, we'll do this again. Okay, and I'm back to highlight already. So now I'm on turn 9. So remember, last time it was 6 and 13. Now I'm 4, 6, and 9. And I've used 2 Makoto highlights. So because it doesn't interrupt her cooldown, she got to go right back into her highlight, just increasing that damage even further. And let's see if we can squeeze another highlight or 2 off before the end of this fight here. So I'm actually taking notes on the side. If you notice me looking over, I'm trying to like remember what turns these are on. Take a big old daddy damage here. Hopefully I don't die. Okay. I can kill when you're not actually setting up your fights correctly. And then here's her actual attack. So right now I should have Loyal Listener on her still. So we'll hit, and then, yeah, see how it did a second hit there? That's because of that effect. And we'll do the same thing we did last time. We'll take out the sides, and then we just, we'll back out before we hit our friend up there. Oh, I guess we won't. Whatever. We can do it this way. Well, actually, no, let's heal. Just in case. And we'll do a little bit of this. Alright, and again, we're not going to go into mass mode because we need to extend this so we can get a turn count kind of a thing here. But you understand what I'm getting at here, just how often our highlights will come back. And now I'll put this back on. This is not optimal rotations, guys. This is not a damage showcase. Don't yell at me in the comments because I'm not doing rotations. Alright, here we go. We are back to highlight again already. So we're on turn 16. And let's go with an attack here. Okay, and I guess we'll just use his. Doesn't really matter. I probably should have done that a turn ago, just to do the damage a little, or to do the turns a little bit better. But call that a misplay. We're turn off now. All right, and so I think at this point we'd easily be able to get another highlight out before the end of the fight. But this is realistically what I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, here's another Foul and Rage, so actually we get to go again. And so we'll just give Makoto the win here. And so this is what, turn 19? Yeah, we'll mark that down. It's turn 19. It would have been 18 had I... Or actually, so it would have been 19. Yeah, so we had originally a turn 6 and a turn 13 for our highlights. And we got to use Makoto once and we used Vino once. And this time we had turns 4, 6, 9, 16, 19, and I probably didn't even optimize that fully. So this is a perfect example as to why she is considered so powerful. And there's going to be characters later on that love their highlights even more. Like the big one's going to be Violet because of the way her mechanics work. And so this is why I think every content creator, including myself, is saying, you know, don't sleep on Chord. She is really, really good, etc., etc. And I'll show you to her weapon because I do really think you should get her weapon. And this is, you know what, I'm going to pull up a translation for it just to save you trying to read this, just because of the way the server is. Basically, it increases her own attack, which is her main stat. That's how you build her. When entering battle, you're going to gain 40% highlight energy. That goes up, obviously, with duplicates. The attack of the ally with Loyal Listener is also increased further, and each time an ally activates their highlight, the attack of whoever has Loyal Listener is increased by 5% up to 3 stacks. So this is just making them stronger and stronger and stronger for having Loyal Listener or Enthusiastic Audience or whatever translation you use, and for using their highlights, which she's going to be helping them do anyways. And so this is a really particularly good weapon. Her 4-star, like all 4 stars, is decent. I don't even know if I have it. Oh, I do. Increase attack, and then for 2 turns after using the skill 3, you increase damage by 28%. But I mean, that compared to this is just letting you do more highlights and better highlights more frequently. So I would definitely recommend pulling for it. You know, the other thing a lot of people ask me is what order they should do her awakenings versus the weapon. In my opinion, you go for, you know, her basic character, obviously, you got to pull her. Then you move over to the weapon, get those nice benefits from the weapon. Then you go back into your awarenesses. So if I look at, for example, her awarenesses again, you're going to get a really good A1. It's not necessary, you don't have to get it, but if you are going for it, it's good. The 2s and 3s are swapped on global. So your 3 that you're going to see here is actually your 2. And this one is, it's good, but I think that at this point, you're kind of starting to walk yourself more into that whale territory, or at least like dolphin territory, and you have to really ask yourself, is this more important than a whole other character? If that's what you're going for, have fun. I know some people that are going to chase A6. Again, if you're spending that kind of money, I'm not going to stop you. Thank you for supplying, the funding to the game for the servers to stay open. But I would say go for her weapon, then go for A1 if you are going for a duplicate. You don't have to go for a duplicate. And after that, that's on you. It's all on you if you want to go pushing further. Do you need the A1? Absolutely not. Mine is A0R0. I've had a blast using her. She's fantastic. She's super strong. Like any character, they get better with duplicates, but I don't think it's necessary. And there was at Anniversary an opportunity to pick a 5-star character up through a certain point in time. And so if you really want it, you could also just get it later through that, assuming they do that for global as well. And that's what I would do. Now, if you're asking, okay, that's cool, you showed her with one team, whatever, she goes on every team just about. The only teams I can really think of off the top of my head where she wouldn't bring value is going to be your C's team, your Persona 3, because they work off of theurgy instead of highlight, and she helps increase the theurgy, but she's not letting them cast it off churn, so that kind of core mechanic of hers isn't going to function with this group here. So I don't necessarily think I would be bringing her into a lot of C's teams. And then she buffs attack, so like Yusuke would be not that great for her because he wants to be buffed on defense. Yes, it gives his highlight the chance to come up more, but I think if I'm bringing Yusuke to a team, it's not so much that crazy damage output that she's providing to other teams. I think he is more of the defensive or strictly ice kind of a player. But otherwise, legitimately, I can think of just about every team wanting Chord to be sitting in there with her when you need a buffer. So she is valuable not just on the one team I showed, but so many teams. She slots in all over the place. She'll help you with your Velvet Trials if you're, missing some things on Electric, or even if you're doing things like the Psy Trials, because you get to run an extra highlight doing extra weakness damage with, say, I don't know, Haruna, Puppet. No, Riddle. Jeez, I'm keeping it in. I screwed all that up. Riddle, Psy damage. You get what I'm trying to say. She triggers highlights. The end. So she is very good. And I hope that this served as a sufficient enough demonstration as to why basically every single content creator has been talking about Chord this entire time and why we do typically recommend you get her. Now, again, you know me. Play the game your way. If you hate the character, don't get her. You don't have to play to a meta. She is just super helpful. What's up, Chord? We're going to go and hang out with you and play guitar. She is super helpful. I would recommend her. I'm going to highly recommend her. And I'm going to say she's one of the best units in the game, even today, just period. So if you're looking for that power spike, she is it. She is that one. But again, your game is not bricked. It's not broken if you don't have her. So many people don't have her and have played without her and they've done just fine. But she is going to be a hell of a power spike. That's my thoughts on Chord. Again, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. And my friends, if it did, a like and a sub. We're getting ever closer to 10,000. I'm pushing for that for Christmas. And until our next video or live stream, please take care of yourselves.